Hi, good morning. Nice to see you both. Thank you for joining today. Zzinga is obviously going to be unknown to most people in the UK. Would you like to give a short introduction on Zzinga?
Sure, cool. Please go ahead. Yeah, basically, we are a startup from the Netherlands, and what we aim, or our mission, is honey for the people, flowers for the bees. And honey for the people for us is all about creating new, exciting honey drinks. Doing so, we launched our first drink last year, which is a delicious, refreshing honey cider. And yeah, but more important than creating new drinks, we want to engage people in the support of bees and biodiversity. And that's why our mission ends with flowers for the bees. And with flowers for the bees, yeah, we capture different activities from using organic honey to engaging people in supporting local bee projects to help bees and biodiversity bounce back.
Oh, thank you. Now we're going to talk about your motivation and how the whole story came about, but your aim is obviously to come into the UK market in 2021. And actually, I was interested from your pitch deck, of course, that the UK has 40% of the market in terms of cider. I didn't realize it was such a large segment of it. But let's go back to your story first. Where did the motivation for this come?
Yeah, so I think it started all with myself 6 years back when I moved to Lithuania for an exchange semester. And there I got the opportunity to work actually on the most ancient drink in the world, mead honey wine. It's basically a drink made by mixing honey and water and fermenting it. And I really enjoyed this drink. And so I started creating my own recipes and trying out different recipes. We finally realized the opportunity of reinventing this drink as a more refreshing, light alternative. And that happened 2 years ago, actually, when my co-founder Elias joined me. We decided to switch from honey water as a base to using apple as a base for our drink and adding the honey after the fermentation. And with that, we created actually our honey cider, which gets a bit more the balance, the body from the apple and the taste from the honey.
That's good. And Elias, what made you want to come and join Fabian in this journey?
Yeah, so we are actually childhood friends. So we know each other since middle school.
Okay.
And yeah, we went to different high schools, different specializations, and then different universities as well. But we stayed in contact, and we were both passionate about entrepreneurship. And when speaking about the idea, and also Fabian talked about building up the right team, and then yeah, the main idea is that we fit very well together in terms of our personality, our interests, and I also really loved the product that he showed me he was working on. And at that point, it was for me a no-brainer to just come to the Netherlands and yeah, join in this journey.
That sounds really. And you moved from Italy to the Netherlands to join in this journey, did you?
Yeah, actually, at that point, I was working in Berlin, and yeah, moved from Berlin to the Netherlands.
Oh, brilliant. And how was that first year? Because setting up a business is not an easy journey, is it? How was the first year?
Yes, no, I think it's a very humbling experience because you find problems where you didn't even know they could appear. So it's from really small things that you have to set up properly, otherwise it will bite you later, like getting the right legal structure in place, the right accounting in place. You know, so some small things like website hosting. And then on the other side, you have like all these really long-term strategic questions about, hey, where do you see the company in 5 years? Like, what is the main foundation? What kind of culture do you want to build? And so there are many different problems on different levels. And yeah, I just love this kind of challenge.
Yeah, and I think there are two really I think in the end it's good experiences, but at the time it was two big challenges. So the first one, I think when we did our first test batch, think we produced around 5,000-6,000 bottles at the time. 3 months after, we discovered that a second fermentation started in bottle. So basically, they started kind of, when you try to open it, they started to explode. So we had to destroy the whole batch. So that was quite shocking. And this a second really challenge was basically we had the whole production set up, and almost when it was time for production, we discovered that our filler cannot apply the labels or a part of the labels. So basically we filled 35,000 bottles at that time, and after having packed them all, we brought them to Amsterdam, and we had to apply the neck label on each bottle by hand. Now, and the entire label actually. No, the entire labels we had to apply by hand. So yeah, we labeled I think in 1 week 35,000 bottles. Yeah.
That's quite a week.
Yeah.
And what kind of reaction have you had from the market in Amsterdam?
Yeah, throughout really great. I think that's one of the main, one of the main benefits of really starting to build something of your own. If you then see the result and people love the drink and people, give you compliments and ask you where they can get it, like that's kind of the reward that you get at the end. And I think for me, what stood out as the most interesting feedback was just kind of the balance in taste we achieved, because with a bit of the sourness and the body of the apple counterbalanced with the sweetness of the honey, we get a very delicious, a very mild, a very refreshing drink, which you would normally not expect from honey.
No, I understand.
And I think different from the UK, our challenge here in the Netherlands is to get people to know cider. So here we are really working hard on getting the word out. There's not only beer, there's also cider, and getting people to drink a nice, delicious honey cider. And I think, in the UK, our challenge will be to show them that there's an other dimension to cider. So going away from pure apple beer cider to fruit ciders and bringing in a new exciting taste with a conscious, sustainable mission.
I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it? We talked about this last week, weren't we, Fabio? In some ways, your product is made for this market, because the argument is everyone wants to support sustainability.
Yeah.
And actually look for new, fresh products. And actually the idea of a very sustainable new cider coming in is a very logical thing, new product to come onto the market, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah.
So what daunts you about the UK? Why the UK? I mean, I understand it's the biggest global market, but it's quite an ambition, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like so we always knew that when we started in the Netherlands that it's quite a small market in terms of just population and then also cider consumption. So we were always planning to go abroad. And then the question was which country first. And so then there are like the obvious ones like Germany, which would have been also easy for us because we're German speaking. France is the other one where we did also brand research to see how the product, how people react to the product and brand. I think what ultimately made us decide for the UK is, for one thing, the huge market, but then also the kind of developments we see in the market when it comes to the cider kind of has the same, it's in the same maturation process as was beer maybe 10, 15 years ago. That we see a shift away from just mainstream brands with mainstream drinks to more enthusiasm for new tastes, craft, a more with background story, and that we see from the UK more than in any other place.
You've done your research. That's impressed me as well, haven't you, on the UK market?
Yeah. We have looked into it, and we were really happy with what we found.
And I think actually even seeing that all the things which go on now in the UK, also with Brexit, is also like, I think, made us double check everything before we really say, okay,
good
going.
luck on that, because I haven't got a clue what's going on in Brexit.
Yeah, actually, also, yeah, something what happened this week, like only as precautions, because we don't know what happens in the new year. So we decided to ship now. I think this or next week we're going to ship 5 pallets of our drink to the UK, so that we are sure that the border is not shut. Just yeah,
That's
be on the safe side.
No,
Yeah.
that's a good thing to do, to be fair. So what do you think are going to be the biggest challenges about breaking the UK?
I think for the start is like just we are now approaching a completely new market, and it's also again trying to copy what we did in the Netherlands in a new place. So I think for me, it's actually, I'm quite curious how it's going to be. We are planning to set up as a first step in Bristol. Yeah, it's just a bit, we are still a bit in the gray zone, that we haven't been there. We haven't tapped into the market yet. So it's, for me, it's quite a bit, yeah, curious. It's quite a bit excitement, but also a bit, not sure, afraid is maybe the wrong word, but
well,
yeah.
I think you need a bit of fear sometimes in life.
Yeah.
It helps.
That's actually for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like we have slowly, like step by step, we improved what we do in the Netherlands to really understand how we need how we need to present the drink so that people get aware of it and get to like it. But of course, UK has a different culture, and there will be learning steps also to take there. And I mean, for the rest, it's always also about the entire setup of the business, which again, there are many details which need to be taken care of.
Of course. Because, I mean, it's worth just stressing, you are still 2 quite young men, aren't you? Because you've almost set this up almost straight from college, haven't you, in some ways?
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, actually it comes out of the university. Like also a part to add there is, I think the part of, actually the second part of our mission, Flowers for the Bees, is also what came into play studying here at Wageningen University. So we are actually now based at the campus of Wageningen University, and I think the university itself is really on the forefront of sustainability, and that's also the part where we learned about bees and biodiversity, what's happening, and realized actually the opportunity of, yeah, bringing innovation to the cider market, which is coupled to supporting bees and biodiversity. Yeah. So actually, yeah, done with university, at least for me. I think Elias has some experience in the startup world, but for me, it's straight out of college, starting a startup.
It is quite brave, because actually, from my side, actually, I always say it's good to see young entrepreneurs having a go, because actually that's what powers economy and change. And actually, we haven't seen that probably not that many examples in the last decade, so it's good to see. Elias, where did you work beforehand?
I worked at a digital healthcare startup in Berlin, and there I was working in operations and business development, but also only for a few months, because I also come basically straight out of college, worked there for a couple of months, and then directly to the Netherlands. So
you're learning as you go, which is good.
Yeah.
And your target audience, do you want to say something about your target audience?
Yeah, should I go ahead? So basically, we like our main target audience are we call them young urban creatives, and they're people we describe as interested in something new, but conscious about the environment, and that they're how to say, a bit into quality, but are really conscious about also their social life. So they want to create moments of togetherness. They want to be with friends and with family, and enjoy their moment. But at the same time, their moment shouldn't be a cost they impose on others. So they want to have the wider world in a way in harmony with what they're doing. And so that's also where the mission really comes into play. We're creating this great moment for themselves, but also do something good for the environment.
Yeah. And maybe also as a drink, I think we are not really we don't see our cider as the drink that you drink to get wasted, but it's more, yeah, you have a couple of drinks together with your friend and you have a good moment, good time, and some nice conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's one of the big shifts, isn't it? Because people are drinking less and less.
Yeah.
And their view towards alcohol is obviously changing from previous times. So why Bristol? Why did you choose on Bristol?
Yeah, actually, Bristol is actually at the heart of the apple of the cider. So we were actually looking for a local producer.
Yep.
In the UK, and soon we discovered when it's about cider, it's all around that area of England. It's a lot about Somerset and surroundings. And so actually we want to get to know the market in the heart of the cider market. And from there, from Bristol, actually our next goal is to go to the heart of the UK, to London. Yeah. But I think it's also for us, it's like to get a first step into a new market. We didn't want to go to a metropole of the country. So taking preferably a bit a smaller city where it's maybe a bit easier to get your footsteps into, to understand how the city life works.
No, look, I understand that. And how will you judge whether you've been a success or not?
I mean, I think like the optimist in me at least says that when everyone in the UK knows us,
then you've been a success. There's no doubt about that.
No, I mean, of course, like we are happy that when we get like the first step is always the local adoption, right? When we see that even if we just have a few outlets that we see drink is people are buying it and reordering it, then we see, right, there is interest, people are coming back, and from there just stepping it up to different places, more larger distributions, then step by step. That's basically what success looks like.
It's kind of like we call our go-to-market strategy kind of the city hive approach.
Yeah, no, I read about that.
Yeah. So actually, I would define the success in the UK if we have a city hive in each city in the UK.
And you've got quite a number of very good advisors around you. You've been able to attract some very high-powered people to help you and support you, haven't you?
No. Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you had from them?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's also quite a crucial part, and where we always try to improve. Actually, is I think we come straight out of college, more or less. So I think there's a lot of things which we still need to learn, and I think we really try to have mentors, advisors around us, to not stumble all the time. So to maybe sometimes get an advice in before you do the mistake and prevent a couple of things. Yeah. And so we really try to get actually, to have people in which have years of experience in the industry, and which give us a bit of a head start in that sense. Yeah.
And what's their feedback been to you?
Where to start?
Positive, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't be expanding. But
yeah, so how we approach it normally is that whenever we take the next step, we see like what are the challenges ahead, and then we try to ask as specific questions as we can. And mentors have helped us in terms of marketing strategy and content creation, in terms of overall brand, how to position the brand. They have provided us with valuable contacts to both operational partners as well as clients. they've also given us valuable feedback when it comes to writing a business plan or just how to present the drink and the business itself. Yeah.
If I can add, I think I think there's even more a feedback I got, which I think I have to get again and again. And I think Elias is also helping to push me a bit back. I really like to, or for me, it happens quite often that I'm all over the place. So it's again now selecting one city. So start in Bristol, don't go all over the place. Also here in the Netherlands, like focus first on one city before you run into 10 different directions. And I think that it's always good to hear it again and again. First make one thing which works and then copy that into other places instead of working on 10 different things at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds fair enough. And do you expect to come over to the UK? Will you move to the UK? Is that your plan, or are you going to stay in the Netherlands and operate in both countries?
No, so actually we actually take a partner on board to help us manage the Netherlands, and we are actually going to the UK early next year. Yeah, so we're actually currently looking for rooms in Bristol. Yeah,
you know someone.
Yeah, so I actually expect that. I think probably both of us are in Bristol in February. Yeah.
You've obviously worked in quite a number of different countries. I mean, you are that kind of next generation of people. You don't seem to be concerned that you go from one country to another country. It seems to be something you enjoy. Is that fair?
Yeah. No. So I've lived so far in 5 different countries, and yeah, it's actually pretty great to see new things and have different experiences, and let us just see how different things can be, and you know what you take for granted is really not a given in another place. And I'm actually looking forward to the UK.
Yeah, I'm quite curious what to expect. I think I've once been to the UK for a student trip to Wales, but I think that's already 7-8 years ago. So yeah, really curious how it is in the UK. But I think from my side, yeah, I'm also quite. It feels also a bit sad to give up, at least for now, for a couple of years, probably the Netherlands.
No, I understand that. And look, with the audience will be obviously listening to this are operators, particularly from the hospitality sector. So which markets are you going to be? Because obviously hospitality is going to be restaurants and bars and hotels are one market that you're going to be targeting, aren't you?
Yeah. So normally our strategy was to build the brand in bars and restaurants first, right? That we can also work with them in close cooperation to create events and create something we can do together to present a drink in a proper form. Now, of course, due to COVID, we assume that will still take a number of months till it's really out. So for now, the plan is to start with independent retailers or specialty shops. Where we can also kind of test things out and work closely with them.
Hopefully in summertime. Yeah, I hope that the vaccines, the rollout works quite. Yeah, hopefully.
So do we all. I tell you, I think everyone's getting a bit bored of this now. So.
And so then we hope really that we can be in hospitality this summer. And I think we are already working on different events. For instance, last week we had a really successful event here in Wageningen, where we organized.
Is this a Zzinga event? Is it?
It was a cocktail Zzinga workshop.
Yeah. Okay.
Zzinga cocktail workshop. Yeah. And I think that's also things we would really like to repeat in the UK. So like we did a really small workshop in a bar we work closely with.
All the people were online, so only we were in the bar. Just
as a note. Yeah, it was an online cocktail workshop. So basically, everyone checked in online, and we were live streaming from the bar.
And do you deliver the drinks to people's at home? Is that how it works?
Yeah, exactly.
So we delivered a box beforehand, so they had all the ingredients themselves, and then we did it basically. We made the drinks together. We showed them how to make it, and yeah, made it together. And the background, we had some live music going, and yeah.
So what?
DJ. Yeah.
So what is the favorite Zzinga cocktail?
Ooh, I actually, for me, the favorite version is still like the it's not even a cocktail, but it's a winter, we call it the winter version, where we simply add some orange and some cinnamon, just to Zzinga, and then on ice.
So it's basically serve the Zzinga on ice, slice of orange, and a stick of cinnamon.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
That sounds very refreshing.
Yeah, for me, like really an easy serve is for me so like kind of a recreation of the gin tonic. So basically, we kick the tonic out and we add the Zzinga instead of it. So it's basically gin Zzinga. Yeah, I really love that.
Yeah.
Now, we start at the beginning. You obviously both come from Italy. So where did you grow up in Italy?
So we are both from, we're actually from neighboring villages in the very north of Italy. So it's a small region called South Tyrol or Alto Adige. And it's like a region right on the border to Switzerland and Austria. And so we are also part of a German-speaking minority there. So that's also maybe for the accent. And yeah, I think it's a great region also in terms of you know, two cultural influences. So really you have the German side and the Italian side, which gets mixed very well. And I think that also helps when yeah, moving to different countries, understanding different things.
Yeah, so you good skiers as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean snowboarding. But
Snowboarding, yeah.
Yeah, show my age there.
Yeah.
I think that's the one thing everyone wants to get back to, is getting back to the Alps and getting back to the mountains and getting back to some winter sport. But
Yeah.
high on everyone's priorities.
Yeah, but there's actually for now, I think till the 6th or 7th of December, all the ski resorts are closed. So there's also for us returning to Italy for the Christmas time, there's not much going on.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll change. Oh, look, thank you for your time today. That's really been really lovely talking to you. And I wish you every success breaking into the UK. I'm sure, I've no doubt you'll do very well. Well done.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
yeah, thank you for all the great questions.